There are too many people looking to argue. We have a box that changes its design. You know, boxes do that all the time. The packaging is different. The new movie comes out, they have characters on the package, whoopie-doo. Huggies always has Mickey on their Snug and Dry. Mickey on the boys, Minnie on the girls. Well, the new Huggies comes in, and it has a little baby on it, which a lot of times we have a little African-American child, or however you want to call it. The different depictions of racial backgrounds. We have a white boy, a Chinese boy, a black girl, a Chinese girl. Well, this one happens to have a Chinese boy, a little Chinese baby boy on it. And somebody came up to buy it and it's like, I don't even know if I want to buy these. Now China's taken over so much they're putting their people on our diapers. I'm like, are you serious? Are you looking for something to argue about? It's a baby. Who cares what its nationality is? It doesn't have any idea that it's considered all these different titles. It's just a living person. Look at it for what it is. Look at them for who they are, not it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like we give each other this background that we're supposed to live up to because everyone that looked like you before was a certain way, so we're going to call you that. And we've got to stop doing that. Give people somewhat the benefit of the doubt, especially when they're just a baby. It's a little baby who didn't know that he's on a box of diapers. This little baby doesn't go, hey, I'm a newborn on a box of Huggy diapers. I'm rich. No, his parents are making money off this little baby. In a way, that's sad. It's horrible that we capitalize on ourselves and our children if we can. Some of us. But to try to nitpick about every little thing, to be like, I don't even want to buy these anymore because they're putting their kids on our diapers. Give me a break, sir. I mean, are you grown up? Were you once a child? If you were on this box of diapers as a baby, would it be your fault? Please stop letting people turn each other against each other. You happen to be one of those people that can make a difference and not let it get you like everybody else. Sometimes it feels like I should just walk around with my eyes closed because it doesn't seem like anybody wants to pay attention to what's going on. This lady came up with tons of junk food. It was nothing but Slim Jims, Cheez-Its, little snack crackers, and more candy bars. And then she goes, I thought I got a bottled water, but I guess I didn't. Funny. Don't know where my mind is. She decides to tell me, my grandson plays football, and they get so sweaty playing out in this weather. I decided as a good grandmother, I'll make him care packages for when he's done. And I was like, yeah, I would have just tried to make it somewhat healthy. And she goes, well, his mother does that. And that's not his grandmother's job. His grandmother's job is to give him all the stuff he likes, much to his mother's dismay. And I go, okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to chuckle at that or point out the fact that maybe a parent doesn't want to go against their own parents. Be like, hey, I'm trying to raise my kids healthy. Can you not give them junk? It's not funny, Grandma. It's not funny to say, the grandparents are supposed to spoil the kids. The parents get to do whatever they want to try to make the kids good, and the grandparents are supposed to be there to just spoil them. Let's get out of that mindset, please, because that's pathetic, and that's not a grandparent. That's a grandchild. Here's a valid and very meaningful question. Do you have to have something to fight for in order to have a reason to live? Can you just live life because you have something to live for? But does it mean in order to have something to live for, you've got to fight for it? It shouldn't mean that. It's a balance in the first place, but we shouldn't be making it a competition to fight for the right to be alive. That's where we have misplaced our intention and put what we want over other people's life. Once we can actually take those tiny little things into consideration, a world of difference will happen. What about meat replacements? Let's say you got some plant-based bacon, turkey, chicken, fish, beef, steak, whatever you want to call it. And someone says, you can't call it that. That ain't meat. That ain't healthy. Using all this processed junk as meat. Well, think about this. You're trying to cover something unhealthy with something, period. So you've made plant-based bacon. It's not like you were replacing healthy bacon. That's the point. If you think that you need to eat flesh so bad, nibble on your scabs. You'd probably get more nutrients out of that than some dead meat or a hot dog. Think about it. People complain that you can't make plant-based substitutes. That's junk food. But you're eating junk food. A plant-based substitute for McDonald's isn't going to be any worse than McDonald's. A hot dog replacement is going to be better for you than a hot dog unless you're literally eating shit. That's the whole point. People complaining about replacing my shitty habit with a better habit. Darn you. Get over yourselves. This guy made a point for me. I said to him, it's hard for me to even play pretend anymore. Just to think to myself, if I'm an average everyday person and I woke up in the morning and I'm going to do such and such with my life. I want to know that that is valuable and I'm doing something meaningful with my time. But since that doesn't have to be the case, I'm here at a convenience store that nobody needs any of this junk. I'm really just wasting my time. This is a waste of life. And the guy goes, well, at least you're doing more than me. I sit on a couch and just watch TV and drink beer. At least you're giving people what they want. Whether it's good for them or not, I guess that doesn't matter. And I said, no, actually, it does matter. I'm giving people what they want. Unfortunately, people want things that are immature and harmful for them, and I don't want to be that guy. While doing these videos, I find that I have a hard time holding myself back from making the comments that need to be made. These aren't my personal opinions when I say, this is a bad person, this is a bad example. That's not my opinion. If we want the world to actually improve and be better, we have to be able to say that this is bad and it's causing negative things to happen without second-guessing ourselves. I'm not second-guessing eating garbage food is causing a lot of problems to the health and to the welfare of the people in the world. Oh, that's obvious. We can't sit here second-guessing if we're right or not about maybe we shouldn't chemicalize each other. Maybe we shouldn't use food as warfare. Maybe we shouldn't capitalize and market all kinds of junk for each other to consume. Well, of course, those are obvious things. Those aren't just maybes. Those aren't second-guess worthy. Those are just obvious things. So when I say these kind of things, and I have a hard time keeping my, what people would consider opinion to myself, it's only because these things need to be talked about and discussed, whether they're uncomfortable or not. You know, somebody asked me recently if I'm just some super passive guy like the peacekeeper Buddha who thinks that there's never a reason for violence. And I would say, actually, no, there isn't a reason for violence. There's a difference between violence and aggression due to one defending themselves or one having to do something in a moment where some kind of bad situation is at hand. That wouldn't be violence. That would be reacting accordingly. Let's say we had a whole bunch of people that we loved and cared about, or we saw value in their life. We're just living together as people, as beings, as humans who understand that we just want to be respected, left alone if we want to be left alone. If we have a question, we want to know that somebody's there to try to help guide us in the right direction. That's all. Simple stuff, okay? So if we had groups of people, say you and your family and friends that are close, work on stuff. They have another family other than you. They start building their little group and getting their closeness. You come together. Say you're doing something and you're not following along with that tyrant class who sends one of their goons out to rough you up or bring you in, okay? A cop, a military guy, a patrolman, something. They send them out. When they arrive there, you welcome them kindly. You know that it's probably not going to go so well, but you welcome them kindly. You say, how can we help you? They'll be asking for a certain person. And they're like, you got to come with us. We would say, no, I'm not cooperating with your system whatsoever. That system does not exist to me. You as a living person, as a living being capable of making your own decisions, yes, that exists. And I appreciate that. I respect you. I appreciate that in you. I understand and appreciate the life within you. How about that? Now, if you want to come here and threaten somebody based on somebody out there when we're just living our lives and doing our own thing and not bothering anybody because you do not own this fucking land. You do not own this turf. This is nobody's ownership. We are all sharing the world. Put it that way if you want to. You can think however you want to. No person owns one little piece of it. You are using it for a time, and that's it. It doesn't belong to you. However you want to say it, realize that it deep down does not belong to anybody. It's everybody's. Whoever was born didn't have a piece of this physical property, dirt, soil, matter, water. None of it is passed down to you. It's all for all to share. You've got to fucking understand that. That's that simple. If this officer or this goon or henchman comes in, that's the role he's playing. Like I said, you respect the livingness that is in there that can make their own decisions if they have a conscious mind. And you tell them, you can either leave, don't cause any problems, do not come back, because we don't want to worry that you're going to come back with an army of your goons to attack us. So you can either be welcomed as a brother with respect, lovingly, or we can lovingly eliminate the problem that you may cause trouble. Because you're working for the wrong people and you're coming from the wrong spot to begin with. And we can't have those kinds of pests and leeches living in the world. Those kind of things have to be lost as an idea. You do not have the right to come and force some people to do something. What we should be doing is looking for the people who are living at a lower level of life, period, having to go to welfare lines and having to live off of things like that. That brings you up with a different mindset where you're out trying to get what you can get from people because you don't know what your next thing's coming from. I get it. I've been there. So what we do is we help lift them. We show them that we give a damn about them. We help show them how we can all work together to make this happen. And that's that simple. That is our effort through our daily time. That's what we should be doing. Helping each other. Not going out and working some stupid job. Say, this guy works here and this guy works over there. He's at the gas station. He's at the sub hut. He's over there at the mall super center. None of it matters. You're making money for rich people while other parts of your universal family are dying, are starving, are not knowing how they're going to live because we're living off this money. And those people that control the henchmen and the goons and the armies are the ones that are making all the money and profiting off it. That's not okay to keep allowing. No matter how long that's been happening, unless your life is not worth anything, then you can't just expect that to keep going and have a life worth living. You can find happiness wherever you are. If you're blind, yes, I'm happy in that way because I know what's happening and I'm not afraid of death. In fact, like I've said millions of times most likely by now, not only do I not have a fear of death, most of the time I'd rather not be alive than be in a world like this. I know that my essence will always be alive, but not in a physical body like this. And that's totally fine with me. I just have children that deserve to see their dad as individuals who will move on as another consciousness of this universe. As hard as it is for other people to understand, you're coming from one point of consciousness. Imagine you weren't separating yourself from every other person next to you or every other item, thing other than you. And realize that inside your body is a house of billions of creatures, okay? Inside our universal body, there are countless creatures, beings, things, items, all that kind of stuff, elements. That's all you. You're a combination of it, receiving it, and putting some of it back out, and interacting with the rest of it. You have to understand this. That's how it's happening. And when you die and you go into that place where the physical body is no longer, you go, oh my freaking God. What was I doing? Huh. Because the I that is you then knows that you weren't just one ego. You were all of them, and you decided not to work together as if your right arm was flailing over here with your fingers twiddling, and your left arm was swaying down on the ground with a fist. It's so backwards how we're living. People want to live the way they were told to, the way they aspire to, even if it's morbid or wrong to others. They're not thinking from a universal consciousness. I am. I also know that we are individualized here in the physical world, and we have the ability with free will to control the character we play. We're not just running along on auto drive. None of us are. It just seems like it because so many people are doing it. And if you don't believe that and you think that there really are NPCs because we've seen too many damn computer games and people compare it to that and everyone goes, oh, there's NPCs out there. Just look at it like this. How likely is it that your grandma and grandpa are going to change their ways? Okay, now just try to ask them if they will. And they'll say some of the same lines. My papa always did this, or my grandma always did this, or my mom and dad always did this, and I would have got my ass beat for that. That's not because they're an NPC. That's because that's their life experience, and they're stuck on it. They're thinking it over and over in their mind. And they could have had the willpower to build something better, but it didn't. No one was there to actually allow them to grow as an individual. As adults, it's kind of hard to do that now. I understand. That's why you have to become again as a child and not listen to everything everyone ever told you. And if we had a world where people were actually compassionate enough to say, hey man, be careful, that's harmful, or you don't want to do that because that might hurt you, or that might cause problems with this thing or that thing, or do something wrong in the environment. If people were just that open to help each other instead of trying to get one over on them, trying to manipulate them, trying to make fun of them, or any of the infinite possibilities that a person could want to take advantage of somebody. If we could get out of that, which we can teach, which we can learn, which should be what we're striving for, then the stuff I'm talking about could actually be what makes this world heaven on earth. That is a possibility. Because we're here and alive, and right now we're seeing what seems like hell on earth coming, we can actually then see that it could be the opposite. If we gave a shit and did the hard work that helped us fix the problems, we could make this heaven on earth. The possibility is there. And it's not that hard. It actually takes less effort than the other stuff. The only thing we have to do is make the effort on getting rid of the bad habits, even if somebody thinks they're fun. It doesn't matter. If it's a bad thing for the environment and other people and you're hurting things, sorry. Find other ways to entertain yourself. There's all kinds of them. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what we could do if we were in cooperation with each other. There's no need for me to keep spieling and going on because I mean everything I'm saying, and I just end up repeating myself and sometimes getting so frustrated I stutter a little bit here and there because this is me coming from a personal spot trying to feel individualized yet let out my emotional universal anger. This is so much for me to deal with. I have to go into a certain place and kind of shut off my connection to the world to flip out for a little while. If I do this kind of thing when I'm emotional, I'm around people, you should see the result of it in the world around me. It's amazing and freaky. As an individual, it doesn't freak me out. I know it. I see it all the time. I see it constantly. But then when other people see it, they go, holy shit, that's freaky, man. You're freaking me out. And they don't want to be around me anymore. They could be the same in tune living being as well, but they're not. That's the problem. They're afraid of reality. That saying that the truth is very scary is real. The truth is much, much, much stranger than fiction. And that's not just a slogan. That doesn't even begin to describe it. But enough for now. I truly love you guys. I'm saying this kind of stuff because we need ideas of what we do to fix the problem. We can't just keep complaining that it's bad and we shouldn't do this. And whether or not it sounds simple, what I say that the solutions are, they are simple. That's the work, to simplify. Not to go without anything. Be happy. Do good things. But do them and enjoy them and get rid of the things that aren't helping.